You said that a lot of Igbos Nigeria have not been Islamized by the Fulani Caliphate. What's your take?
Of course, that is not far from the truth. The political arrangement from the beginning till now has shown that the emancipation of one tribe, one black kingdom, one Jewish nation from the black continent will continue to be a problem because this thing has been destined to be so. It's not far from the truth. Anybody that is telling you that is telling you the fact. The reason why the Yorubas were compromised with religion is best known to them. But because we are decent people, we are the North Empire, we believe in ourselves, we are Republicans, we believe in what we can do, we believe in Chukwu Okike Abiyama. And that means that God of Abraham, that's what we believe, the God of heaven and earth. That's what people must believe. People do not believe that human being is God. We don't bow down to anybody. You understand? And from where we are coming from, there has been historical evidence and value to the source of this earth, to the source of life, to the source of divinity, to the source of development, to the source of the kingdom. You know what I mean by the kingdom? Like I once said here, if you look at the Bible very well, you understand the reason why God had Cain and Abel. There must be a reason. There must be a reason why God said Isaac and Jacob. There must be a reason. And if you look at what is happening in the black continent, for instance, Africa, you know, the Africanus, I don't want to go into that detail. I start telling you the story of Africanus, you know, how Africanus came about, that came back to Africa, when Africa was the then world power, you know, when we had the cannibals, you know, the cannibals of Africa, as about that, they defeated the Spanish, they were controlling the world. You know, after the fall of civilization, you know, Egyptian rise. But that's not where we're going. What we're talking about is we have to come to terms with reality, with what is happening globally all over the world. The fact still remains that Igbo, let me not just say Igbo, let me say Biafrans, because I keep on trying to explain this, you know, that Igbo is a language spoken by Biafrans. The fact is that, you know, we have over 200 and or thereabout 271 languages in Nigeria. Or it can be more than that, but I think approximately we have 271 languages, ethnic languages, or more than that in Nigeria. So, but the fact still remains that what we are talking about is about, you know, the connection of a race, the connection of a tribe, you know, how we are able to define, you know, who that tribe is. Like, let me give you instances. When you talk about Jacob, as a one God had a relationship with Jacob, and as when Israel was restored as a nation, how many years? And who are the people that champion the Israeli independence, you know, recognition, you know, as a nation? Immediately after the Holocaust, they came together and said, no, they have started killing Igbos in Nigeria since 1953, before the independence. Even before then, Igbos has been subjected to mass murder in the north. In 1953, go and check it, the records are there. So what have led to that is what we are trying to tell you, that even the Portuguese, the Germans, the British themselves understand the genealogy and the concept and the race that Igbos are made up of. That is why when they are trying to define an Igbo race, they are very careful about it, because you know that the ancient Hebrews were blacks. That's the truth. The ancient Hebrews are black people. So the Egyptians themselves, if you look at them very well, they are blacks. But the fact, you know, we keep on pursuing what we represent. That's by the way. We keep on saying this is what we represent. This is where we come from. You know, it's not the Britain that said that the Igbos are Jews. It's not British government. It's not Lugard. It is not German. They're not French people. the first invasion that took place in Africa, in West Africa, in terms of missionary journey, Igbos were discovered. And before Igbos were discovered, there has been a kingdom that is linked to the Adam and Eve. You see, don't think that God created Adam and Eve. They don't have sense, so they don't have wisdom. They cannot be able to differentiate between A and B. They don't have that sense of reasoning and philosophy. They do. They are not doubts. They are not animals. Adam and Eve were not animals. Cain and Abel were not animals. They were created absolutely in the image of God. They can reason. They can understand. They can define. They have insights. So what I'm trying to tell you, that the first kingdom that was established on earth, you see, that's why the Portuguese were very careful when relating with Ethiopians on the issue that has to do with that name, Biafra. They were very careful because you know that from that era of Seth, when Seth established that kingdom that Seth established, Seth was a warrior. Go and check the history. You know, immediately after the death of Abel, Seth came in. He was a warrior. Check the facts are there. If you're able to recite properly, you will know that the kingdom we are talking about is not just what Odilongo Ojukwu is talking about. It's not what Paul Opugo is talking about. It's not what the God is talking about. It's not what all these missionaries are talking about. Biafran constitution, all those things are rubbish. We are talking about fact, and that is why the Portuguese, having discovered that, you know, there was a certain people that migrated from that kingdom of Seth and moved towards Ethiopia and Gulf of Guinea, heading towards the Bight of Biafra. I know these houses are Bight of Biafra. So there were remnants of that kingdom of Seth that happens to have a place. You know, they called Ethiopian miners. Later it was they were Biafrans, but they called them Ethiopian miners. That island, they took after the name of that kingdom established by Seth. I don't know, but I want to tell you, you know, why it will be difficult. It's a thing that is going to come. There's no two ways about it, and it's going to come. The Biafran kingdom is not about Nigeria. The Biafran nation is not about the Fulani or one general or the other, or what is happening, you know, at the global level. This is a connection with reality of divinity. It's a fact. Nobody's going to check that. No. I'm telling you. See, no, there's no connection between darkness and light. There's no how you're going to do it. You cannot invent it. You cannot manipulate it. It's natural. It's natural for us to wake up in the morning and see the sky bright. It's natural for us to go to bed and everywhere is dark. So that's how it is. But the time after 4,000 years, you know, Israel came back, you know, to become a nation. If you read the revelation of Daniel, you discover there's a place of the black continent, black kingdom in the world, and it's going to come from Africa. That's what we are talking about. It's not about the DNA, you know, the Jewish blood. That's not about it. We're talking about, you know, the promise of divinity concerning a particular race in Africa that will define Africa. So any force that is going to stand against that particular race, you better know it. See, you use your tongue to count your teeth. That's a fact. You know, it's a force. It's coming. It's developing. It's a global movement for now. A lot of people are not to understand it the way it is going now. But the fact still remains that, you know, the way it's coming, it carries the name. That's the beauty of it. It carries that representation. That it's not an Igbo man that said they should be called Biafra. Is there an Igbo man? No, he said I cannot. That is not Igbo man that said. That's what I'm saying, that the name has connection with divinity. So whether Nigeria has, of course, you know that like, since 1914, there's nothing like Nigeria. That's the fact. You understand? Unless we come together, and that is what Goodluck Jonathan was trying to do before they unleashed Boko Haram on him. He set up a cover 2014. Nigeria should be fixed, but unfortunately, you know, that conference could not see the light of the day. But all these things are happening, pointing towards one direction: liberation of the black man, liberation of the consciousness, liberation of the mental reasoning of an average black man. It's about black man. It's about black nation. It's about black kingdom. The fourth kingdom that is to come that will represent the black race. That is where we are going. So it will be difficult for anybody, be it Fanta Jalon, be it Boko Haram, be it Fulani Herdsmen, be it whatever you call. So far you are not afraid of that source, you cannot conquer Biafra. And the fear of Igbo is the beginning of wisdom.
I say nothing on earth.
I said the fear of Igbo is the beginning of wisdom. You should understand what I mean. I'm not talking about nothing. You see, bros, when you are connected to divinity, you understand what I'm talking about. That is not a, these things are not human made. You understand? It's just when you are talking about Hitler, and the Jews of those days, and Hitler now and Israel now. So you understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? So the connection is deep. The connection is connected to supernatural. When you're connected to supernatural, what else do you think a ordinary human or human thing, philosophy, reasoning can do? That is not going to make any headway.
What comes to mind when you know that Nigeria belongs to an Islamic organization?
Oh, of course, now that's what I was saying. Now, if you look at the name Nigeria, if you come to begin to explain it the way it looks like, sit down and look at yourself very well. What is the meaning of Nigeria? If you ask Nigerians themselves, ask them. No, go to anywhere, ask Nigerians, those senators. Don't tell them Nigeria is a country. Is that the meaning of Nigeria? That's what we tell you, because I've also asked so many people. They will tell you that Nigeria is a country. You know what I'm saying? So, what is the meaning of Nigeria? Like, if you ask me now, what's the meaning of Biafra? I won't waste time. I will tell you, but that's a secret. You understand? But Nigeria we are talking about now, what is the meaning of Nigeria? Under what circumstances was the concept of Nigeria impregnated, incubated? And under what circumstances was it given birth to? That's a fact. It must be checked. Then until the people themselves, okay, what did they call Ghana? After digging so many holes in Ghana, they say it's Africa Coast, Gold Coast. But the people said, no, we cannot be called this name. They take it to Ghana. Why has Nigeria decided to still bear this name called Nigeria, when you know the meaning of Nigeria? So anything about that is why you see none of them can be trusted with unity of this country. It's all these things they are doing is ethnic gang up, religious gang up, tribal gang up, paddy gang up. You saw what Fulani did. He opened the kind of walls. He told Nigeria this is the direction. So why are people not celebrating Fela? Fela is the only honest person I have seen so far in Nigeria. That's the truth. I say it anywhere. Fela Aníkúlápó Kuti is the only person I have seen that has that reasoning, that has that understanding, that refuse to compromise the truth, the fact, and the reality. That's just the way to go.
We'll find they didn't talk about Fela because the guy is another thing.
yeah, that's why. You know what I'm telling you? He never believed. He never believed. That's why he said, no, I cannot be part of this wuru arrangement. No, it's not pure. He declared he was the president of the Calcutta Republic. Go and ask. Go anywhere and ask. Is it because his own people decided to look the other way because of what they are getting from the federal government? Because when they are stealing up and down, they decided not to define themselves and build themselves on the reasoning and philosophy of Fela Aníkúlápó Kuti. That would have given an average Yoruba man identity. Yes, leave the man his way of life. He's interpreting something. Don't say that Fela is working. He's doing this. Fela is interpreting a fact that needs to be checked. They are linking his, with the message he's carrying. That is why till tomorrow, Fela is still being celebrated all over the world, because people are beginning to understand that the philosophy of reasoning is in the mass making, and the philosophy of change is also in the mass making. What do you do? That's why they say the whites are better than the blacks. The black man taught the white man. Go and put to them Socrates, remember them, all this, wherever they come from the Greeks, anywhere. They studied in Egypt. But when they left, they were able to develop what they got from the black man. and begin to say, okay, this particular knowledge, I'm going to, everybody have to go to school. But you see, when you're everywhere, what are you going to school to learn? Say, when you came to Africa to learn, nobody charge you, nobody collect money. But after you have developed that idea, and when you want to sell it back to Africa, you say we should pay for it. And that is why we have education. That's why we have civilization. That's why we have everything. But the source of this knowledge and understanding came from Africa. It came from the black man.
Yeah, it's unfortunate we don't have people like Fulani anymore.
It's not a matter of we don't have people like Fulani anymore. I'm talking about building on the legacy. I don't want to understand what I'm saying. Build on the legacy he left behind. Okay, look at in America today, people are still talking about Tupac. You know, looking at the character of Tupac, but they forgot that Tupac had a message. Tupac also was against racism in America, no matter the way you look at it. Michael Jackson was also against racism in America. But today, the longest street in America is being named after Tupac. Why? Because people have seen that his art and philosophy can be developed. The power of his reasoning is a prowess to the people who define reasoning. And that is the way to go. So by the time you begin to look at all these things, you'll be able to extract. See, I think time will come, we'll run away from democracy. But it's a fact. Both all these important type of government, democracy, bicameral, parliament, all these things are 0/0. Leave it to the people who developed it. A black man was put on a thinking cap to define and identify himself. That's what makes you great. Look at China. China gets in everything that has to do with Western world. They look inside, they become indigenous in governmental development, economic development, commerce, science, innovations. They become indigenous. They struggled with it. That's what made God great today. But God, when God wanted to create man, God did not say, man, come out. There was a physical contact between God and dust. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying. There was a physical contact between God and dust. And that was how man came. So the indigenous people, of any nation, of any people, need to start from their own jurisdiction, geographical location, where they find themselves, and begin to struggle for that civilization, and begin to struggle to see change, innovation. That's why they said necessity is the mother of what? Invention.
Thank you very much.